Thank you, Mr. Roy. Thank you for being invited here. Thank you, the organizers that invited me to this workshop. The Common Service Center, see, the topic given to us is small is beautiful. It fits very well into what we are all associated with. As you all aware, Common Service Center is a scheme of Government of India for enabling front end to be set up in rural India. I was reading a small article in the magazine which was launched today by Amod. And Amod is one of those started in a small way, the similar model. And he says if you really want to address issues of citizen as well as issues of concern, you must segregate front end and the back end physically and electronically. And that is what Common Service Center does. Common Service Centers basically provides an access to citizen without his going to a government office and get services delivered. It is not, as I said, for all of us associated, we have been always saying it is not a scheme and program. We call it a movement, Andolan, where we are empowering communities to get what they want across system. See, I've been saying this, in rural India and urban India, there is hardly any difference in terms of people living in rural India. The level of intelligence across, there are studies done to prove the level of intelligence of rural India is almost similar to that of level of intelligence in urban. What is missing is the access to facilities, access to information, knowledge. The Common Service Center bridges that gap on access. It provides access to citizen in rural India of information, knowledge and skill, and therefore empower communities to derive the benefit. It is also small in the sense that these are run by a private individual who who stays in the community, who belongs to the community. And therefore, it is widely acceptable because people identify themselves with the person who comes to the community. It's not a fly-by-night operator scheme, and therefore it is static in that sense. Today there are 1,24,000 Common Service Centers. UP is supposed to have about 18,000 of them. And these are enterprises. And in the journey of Common Service Centers, we have all kinds of stories. We have very good, excellent, outstanding stories of people who have built real good businesses. I know about a VLE whose turnover is about 1 crore. I met a chap in Kerala who told me his own words, his business turnover is 70 lakhs. So you have good stories. You still have people who are still struggling in terms of their income is about 5,000 rupees a month. So you have variations of enterprising being built in rural India, varying from 5,000 to 50,000 rupees a month. In the infrastructure space also is similar. You have 1 computer Common Service Center, you have 10 computer Common Service Center, depending on the enthusiasm, capability, and the demand in the area, the Common Service. The Common Service Centers also has 1 person employed and 5 person employed. That's a variation. So you have various kind of these empowerment enterprises being built up in rural India in small way through the intervention of ICT. And that is what our vision and objective. What do they do today? For the financial sector, there's a full package available. They can become banking correspondent of a bank and do banking services. They can become now, with the new IDA guidelines, become a broker, not an agent. The Common Service Center operator can become a broker and deliver product and services of all the 51 insurance companies in India. The third is, we are also saying that National Pension Scheme, which is made applicable to government servant, is also now available to citizen. He can also do pension. And for remittances from abroad, we are done with Western Union. So you have full package of financial services available, which can be delivered to the Common Service Center to the citizen. He doesn't really have to go anywhere. We are struggling. It's not an easy journey. We all know that very well. So far today, about 6,000 Common Service Center works as BC. Our objective and aim is to make all 1 lakh work as business correspondent. We know we'll have to fight out with the banks and we have to work out a space for ourselves by creating credibility of this institution as Common Service Center. The second important aspect is the education sector. We have a full package now available for education sector. That means what we do e-literacy, Government of India program of doing 1% e-literacy, and our calculations show that a Common Service Center, if it does 1% in family to make e-literate within his jurisdiction for 4 years, he doesn't have to do anything. He survives. That is how the whole model is designed. Government of India has started the scheme. We have started these pilots of Common Service Centers doing e-literacy. We also do a financial literacy through a NABARD program. We're doing a pilot. We're also doing, in addition to this, Nation Institute Open Schooling Centers. These are facilitation centers for NOIS. So the people who drop out in school, with 40% people in India dropping out at the primary level, this is a good facilitation center for empowering those dropouts. We also have NALET Facilitation Center. And we're also building some skill programs in order to do. So we have full package and structure for education program to deliver to Common Service Center. The third is we also have full package for UID. Some of the centers do permanent enrollment for UID. They do updation of data for UID. They do authentication for UID. And they also entitled to do seeding for UID in databases of government and private agencies. So you have these three components which are now fully, we have a framework in place. Some CSCs are doing, some CSCs are in the process of doing it, and our aim and objective is to make 120,000 CSCs vibrant and do all that what we envisage in delivering it. The last is the government to citizen service delivery. In fact, one of the points which everybody is saying it, but government to citizen service delivery is a process. We have been saying it's not an event, it takes time. In government service delivery framework, there are various, some states done well, some states are still struggling, and some states are in the process of upgrading the infrastructure. Data digitization, data integration, and then creating a web-enabled application to deliver services is a long way to go in government. So that is one part of the story. But see, the idea is not to do G2C only. Idea is to create enterprise entrepreneur to meet the demands of citizen rural India, and which can be used by government to deliver government services. We have been always saying the CSC is not a government outlet. It's a private outlet to be used by government. And that is how the differentiator. And these enterprise, we have met almost all the places. They are very young, very good, enthusiastic entrepreneurs. See, it's good to see that in rural India, there's a huge vibrancy of enterprises being built by young entrepreneurship. Today's news item says 1 in 3 out of rural India doesn't have a job. I think ICT and this framework can create the framework for enabling citizen rural India to get employment. Common Service Center for all of us is a vision, a dream come true in the sense that empowering communities to get what they want and become almost equal to, it's a virtual road being created to facilitate citizens to drive services at his doorstep.